What's going on there, folks? Good evening. It is the Earthmaster back here on this Wednesday night, February 8th, 2023. It is about 9:16 p.m. here along the West Coast in the state of California. Latest quake shows a 4.3 over here around the Turkey area, also a 5.5 down into the region of, well, kind of looks like Honduras right there. Want to check out and see what's going on here with this latest activity. Looks like a 5.5 off the coast of Honduras. Although this coming in looks like earlier today. I'm not for sure why the Earthquake 3D globe is showing that up there, but it should be the most recent quake over here, a 4.3 into the Turkey area. And there's still quite a bit of movement kicking up here around the Turkey area. The latest quake, as mentioned, a 4.3, 15 kilometers deep. Still seeing a broad area of earthquake activity stretching down here about the Lebanon area up into portions of Turkey around this plate boundary. The largest earthquake so far today looks to be a 5.4 occurring around the epicenter of the 7.8 that struck here just a couple days ago. Everyone's kind of asking about the potential here for a larger scale earthquake, and there's a window of opportunity, so to speak, in terms of watching for some potential larger movement. And I think we are past that window. It normally runs about 24 to 48 hours. We did see that 7.8 and, of course, the 7.5 in a different area of the fault system, different area of the plate boundary. But I think things are starting to mellow out currently here across the region. Now, of course, there is a lot of earthquake activity. A real quick glance here of the EMSC model map. We'll zoom in here to the Turkey area, and we'll take a look at the magnitudes here. Starting to spill over here around the northeastern section of that plate boundary. Bring this up here real quick. Stand by for just a second. And are we working? I don't know. That's a little odd. Not for sure what's going on there. The up button's not working. There we go. Again, there's still a lot of activity that we've seen over the last couple days, and we have to go to the last week or so to get a good number out here. There's been a bunch of earthquake activity. Of course, you expect that from a large 7.8 and, of course, the 7.5. But things are tapering off slightly here, folks. During the cleanup and whatnot. That's good news for the folks there on the ground to hopefully make steps into recovering from this major damaging earthquake. Around the region here, not a lot showing up far as 4.0 and above goes. A look at the EMSC model shows not a whole lot elsewhere aside from the Turkey area. Did see a 5.0 over here in the Atlantic Ocean. I believe that is a older earthquake. Nothing showing up here on the USGS map. Let me see here. Pretty certain that's going to be an older one. It is in the red color rings. No newer activity here across the Atlantic for now. Some deeper movement into the Alaska region. And now that's kind of odd here. Look at that 5.5. I'm not for sure why that... I'll have to check that out a little bit later. My local time frame was on... looks like 7 o'clock this morning, but something going on here. A little fishy with the Earthquake 3D globe. So we're going to go over here to the map, and we'll get off that globe and look at the flat scale model Earth. 2.6 way out in Virginia, just off the coast. Looks like just off the coast here of the... well, they have it set at Greenbackville. Wow, is that a town? That's pretty cool. Virginia, 2.6 at 11 kilometers deep. Little oddball earthquake out there today. There's that earthquake down in Honduras, 5.5, again coming in early this morning. I'll check out the Earthquake 3D globe here in a little bit and see what's going on with it. Earthquake activity at Yellowstone still continuing with a little bit of migration here to the southeast around the Yellowstone caldera, around Lake Yellowstone. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. Make sure I got the most recent updated info here. Here's Maple Creek over here in the northwest corner of the park. Quite a bit of earthquake activity. Although we're looking at a little migration here. And I'll show you guys here around the borehole area. Some of this activity that you guys can see right here on the map, look at this right here down here on the bottom, are much more localized, a little bit more prominent feature here on the borehole station than compared to other stations around the vicinity. So we're getting a little bit of migration here with this earthquake swarm, and not uncommon. We definitely do see earthquake activity, but they're at Yellowstone National Park. But man, it's definitely kicking up pretty nicely. USGS showing about 20 earthquakes here. Now, you got to remember there's many, many more than that. This here is the last 7 days of earthquakes, and showing about 77 earthquakes here so far across the Yellowstone area. But if you want to go for it, go ahead and count all of these just over the last 24 hours, and we have way more than the 77 that's being reported there. But no, I'm not going to do that right now. All right. See what else we got here. Pacific Northwest, relatively quiet. Nothing going on across that area. We'll get to that here in a second. I want to show the tremor map here tonight. See what we got going on across the Cascadia. All the tremor activity has migrated up here to the north around the Olympia area of Washington. This has taken place underneath Olympia, about 45 kilometers deep, into the subduction zone of the Cascadia. No major earthquake activity to report currently around that major subduction zone. Northern California, relatively quiet, as well as the Bay Area around San Francisco. A little bit of movement here around the San Andreas Fault. Aside from that, once we get down south here into Southern California, one earthquake showing up in the last hour right smack dab on the San Andreas Fault. Looks like right around the southern segment, the northern end of the southern segment. 1.2 coming into the California area. All right, let's see what else we got here. Puerto Rico has been awfully quiet here. This is a little on the concerning side. Our swarm has stopped, and we're still getting some activity outside of the Puerto Rico area. 3.2, the latest in the Puerto Rico Trench region. South America quiet for now, although on the EMSC model globe here shows a couple smaller quakes listed up there in that area. Let's go to Hawaii. Out here in the Pacific Ocean, one oddball earthquake here, 2.4, well off the west coast of Hawaii this morning, 31 kilometers deep. Most of the activity here confined to the Pahala area, with a little bit of migration here to the south, close to the Loihi Seamount of the Big Island. The northwestern section here of the Pacific Plate, relatively quiet for now. I'm not seeing any further earthquake activity. This one here coming in late last night. And just a glance here at the EMSC model confirms that with some older movement quakes here. Just about ready to drop off the 24-hour threshold. A couple regions seen a little bit of uptick around the Java Trench and the area south of the Philippines there with the 4.0. That's going to be this region right here, although not necessarily shown up on the USGS map yet. It will eventually, hopefully. 4.5, the latest here in this vicinity near the Papua New Guinea area, 26 kilometers deep. Not a whole lot going on elsewhere. If we look at the map here, things are relatively quiet across the Himalayas, down through the Myanmar area, and into the northern end of the Java Trench for now. Of course, that is subject to change, right? Definitely. New Zealand, not a whole lot going on down into the area around New Zealand. Nothing showing up here across the area on the USGS map. And let's go to GeoNet servers here and see what we got just real quick. 7 hours ago, looks like a 2.7 down in the South Island area. And the all magnitudes map here. A couple smaller quakes, some 2s. Nothing major going on. Volcanic drums here show, well, a couple of those smaller earthquakes, but overall, general seismic activity on the mellow side currently across the area of New Zealand. All right. Speaking of New Zealand, we got a major cyclone starting to develop out here. Gabrielle is churning off the northeastern coast here of Australia. The wind patterns, the upper level jet stream out here will take this into the North Island, New Zealand area. It's going to be a very important storm to watch here. I was looking at a couple of reports earlier, and there's a few folks, such as Weather Watch New Zealand, making statements such as this storm system here could be one of the more serious storms over the last century. That's a big deal. Let me show you guys some weather models out here. Let's back out here. Well, we can kind of see that. I don't want to do that. Hold on a second here. I don't need no soundings. Not going to be any tornadoes out there. So, of course, we got Australia over here in the outline. New Zealand down here to the south. Currently high pressure off the South Island area. This is a GFS model. Kind of pinpoints weather development. This is what the weather folks use quite a bit in their weather forecasting, and also, of course, storm chasers and whatnot utilize this as well. The GFS is out a couple days here, so we're looking at a potential for a major cyclone to hit the northern, about the northern portion of North Island area, and then scooting on down to the south. And what this is going to do here is, it's going to create a whole lot of havoc out there. There's a little bit of fear mongering going on out there on the YouTube channels with this cyclone. Hold on a second here, but here's the current information here on the cyclone. Gabrielle has been upgraded to a Category 2 as of Thursday morning, New Zealand time. It is expected to reach Category 3 by Friday morning. Gabrielle is forecast currently to hit the upper North Island on Monday, with Northland, Auckland, and areas there being the first in the firing line. So there is, it looks like there has been a state of emergency that has been extended in certain regions there of the North Island area because of these weather models, right? Again, these things are subject to change, but the current weather models are forecasting this thing to develop and to increase right about the time it hits the North Island, New Zealand area. There is, let me show you guys, there's Windy map. Windy is actually really cool, more user-friendly, I would say, in terms of forecasting, weather patterns. So we look at this, and this is going to be the ECMWF weather model. We're going to go ahead here and scoot this just a little bit forward to about the day on Thursday. It's going to take a little while. Remember, we're looking at probably Monday for the brunt of this system to come into the North Island, New Zealand area. It's looking a little scattered as it goes across this area of the Pacific, but then it tightens up again right around the North Island, New Zealand area on Monday. Notice that eye starting to get much tighter. Look at these wind speeds up here. These are going to be wind gusts up around 97 miles per hour. Over here off the west coast of the North Island area. And it looks as though that's going to be the brunt time, roughly Monday 10 a.m. or so, maybe a little bit earlier. And as we watch the system progress here, it kind of just scoots south, right over the North Island, New Zealand area. And for the folks there in Christchurch, I think you're going to get a little bit of wind down there. Definitely not the brunt of the system, but you guys will feel it a little bit before it dissipates into a little bit weaker system out there. But you know, it's something worth watching here very closely. Again, these weather models are forecast to change, but there's going to be some incredible wind, some rain, quite a bit of activity kicking off here around the North Island, New Zealand area, as this could be one of the more serious storms here to hit North Island in, well, they say this century. So we'll continue to watch that as it plays out. But right now, it's just in its beginning stage here. Again, Category 2. Cyclone Gabrielle, they're churning off the coast of the Australia area. We'll watch that, right? I'll probably going to be reporting on this here on each of my updates at least once each night here as we head towards the beginning of next week. Space weather activity is another story that's been popping like crazy in terms of solar flaring. Check out the last 3 days of activity, right? Zooming up there into the M flare category. We did have an M flare peak out here around the M 3.0 or so. Things are definitely looking very active on the surface of the sun currently. Here is a visible look at the disk of the sun, but we're a little bit more concerned about the magnetic structure here of a couple of these sunspots. This thing is looking crazy up here. There's all sorts of dynamics in the sunspot, and this is the one that's already popped off a couple M flares. That's going to be sunspot number, let me see here what we got. Sunspot number 3213. 3213 up here. That is going to be the one of the most active regions, as it does harbor a beta delta class here, and it's looking pretty complex here, very unstable. It does harbor a potential right now 60% chance of a C flare, M flare at 15, and I think this is the most likely area to see an X flare with a 5% chance. But overall threat has been elevated here to a 15% chance for an X flare, M flare at 55, and 99% certainty. Obviously, right? We're almost crackling with M flares right now. So yeah, definitely things are ramping up. And we're looking at a couple different regions here coming around the bend that do harbor some further watching on the southeastern and the northeastern limb of the sun. This one up here is positioned into an area on the sun that will, you know, if we get a major CME blasted off here, it will probably not be geo-effective, or we may get a little glancing blow because of that position on the sun. This one right here, more geo-effective in terms of you know, Earth-directed eruption if it were to happen. So we'll kind of keep an eye on all these sunspots here over the next, well, definitely the next couple days. Things are getting very, very active on the sun currently. Again, 15% chance for an X flare. We'll watch these. We did see a little bit of elevated conditions here over the last couple hours. KP index up around the 3 or 4 range. There is a slight uptick around the higher latitudes to see some auroras, and of course down there in Antarctica. But that's about it. There's really no major uptick currently in that solar weather department far as the auroras go. Right now, solar flares are the big things, the big topic, and we'll continue to watch that throughout the night and over the next couple days here, folks. Alrighty, let's see what else. I think that is about it. Let me see here if I missed anything across the board. Yeah, definitely I think that's about it for now. Just kind of watching things, see how things are playing out here across Turkey. I'm looking for any major migration west or eastward along that plate boundary, and right now just kind of situated right around the Turkey area. All right, folks, have a good night. Stay safe out there. Tomorrow is, what do we got? Thursday? Thursday already. Then we got Friday. Awesome. Have a good night, guys. We'll catch you guys back here sometime tomorrow. Peace out.